And we are.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry about that. There wasn't music because I forgot to press the play button.
Oh yeah, I should open Science.
Fire the audiovisual guy.
Okay.
Who even pays our AV guy?
Wait, I get paid?
You get paid in entertainment.
I get paid in exposure.
Whoa. TOS, man. TOS.
Oh, I guess I'm hosting today, aren't
Yeah.
I?
I'm like, am I hosting tonight too?
That's
This is all on you.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Fire the host at the same time you fire the
Not like this.
No, firing hosts means we have to hire some random celebrity host then, and I'm not good with that.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work.
I think Raven should just take over as host.
Yes, you don't want
And
that.
audio-visual guy. Solve all our problems at once.
Okay, well, it's time for the Dark Souls flavored campaign.
Oh, look. Rocks fell on my character. I'm out.
Yep.
So,
Oh, you think death is freedom? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, crap.
as
I
as
mean,
you guys
Tyrus
can-
thought that.
Fair point.
Whoa.
Oh, low blow. That's a low blow.
Was it a
Is it,
low
though?
blow, or was it a teaser to what's coming?
Foreshadowing.
I'm
Both.
sad.
Both.
How
as you
mad can I
see,
make Kyo?
We are. Oh, you do not want to ask that question, sir. That girl's got problems. As you can see, we are missing one person today. Unfortunately, Kiara had other things that she needed to take care of. It happens, but we are still going to proceed regardless. How is everyone doing this week?
I still have a shelving unit.
Oh, that's good.
No,
I've
it is
been
not
home.
good.
Oh,
Not good.
never mind.
I've been home with the toddler all day, so adult interaction, please.
You're not going to
I'm
get
playing
any of that
make believe
here.
with other adults. I have a TV baby, so dealing with that noise.
It's better than playing make believe with a 2-year-old.
Hey, at least you don't. Your child isn't like my cat, who keeps going under my desk and chewing on the wires for attention.
Yeah, that's no Gusta. That's no.
No, he's more attracted to the big, bright red button that turns everything off.
I do have to say, our child still obsessed with Monsters University, but she discovered something new that she very much enjoys, and I have mixed feelings about it. And it's Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've doomed yourself.
That was a small phase for us, but we did just introduce Monsters University, and the scene where they're chasing the little pig is he can't stop giggling. Just cannot stop giggling.
I recommend many years of gummy bears. And just go with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gummy Bears, Rescue Rangers,
They're all on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Tailspin.
It's on Disney Plus and it's got like 7 seasons. Just press go.
I'm waiting for the days when she's just a little bit older and I can sit down and introduce gargoyles to her.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
Star Trek so she can understand where all the voice actors came from.
Well, I guess oh, they're all Star Trek people?
Every
A lot of
one
them
of
are,
them.
yeah. A lot of
I never
them
watched
are.
Star Trek, so I
Yeah, the main cast is literally like, oh, those voices sound like painfully familiar.
Yep.
So I just learned something new.
I mean, Riker's one of the first villains.
Yep.
Well, shit.
Yep.
Okay then.
And now you know.
I've been educated.
Don't need to raise the it's just random dog.
Yeah.
Don't need to raise the baby on, you know, new cartoons. No, raise them on the old ones.
Yeah.
The good ones.
I do have to admit, as I resisted it for the longest time because my niece and nephew really love it, but I'm like, okay, it's actually not that bad. I will accept bubble guppies.
Oh no.
I don't know that one.
Bubble, 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 guppy, guppy,
It-
guppies.
It wears you down real quick.
It does.
My nephew loved that show
Yep.
when he was younger, and good lord, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
It's I mean, I'll give into it. It's better than what some of the other crap is on TV for kids. I will accept it.
That is true.
It's one of the better ones. It's better than Blippi. My nephew's obsessed with Blippi. Blippi can go hang himself with his own bow tie. Don't like
Damn.
Blippi.
See, if it's
Get
a TV
fucked,
show,
Blippi.
and we're saying we've convinced my son not to watch any of the Cars movies because there is always the Cars movies. Cars 1, 2, or 3 doesn't care. But we convince him not to. It's either PJ Masks or Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol
Neither one is
confuses
great.
me. Paw Patrol
Paw
confuses
Patrol is
me.
very confusing me. There's like 5 different plot lines running at the same time.
That poor kid must live in this in a city full of the most inept adults ever.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
See, I've analyzed too many of those little kids shows now. Like was it the PJ Masks? I'm like, okay,
PJ
there's
Masks.
only 4 villains, and they're all
Mhm.
homeschooled kids. What does that tell you about homeschooled children? They're all going to become villains. This is where
Yep.
my mind goes.
I mean, it's a good
It's
start.
propaganda for the public school system.
Go to public school. Your kid will be a hero.
Yeah.
Go to school.
Speaking
Be an X-Man.
speaking of
Yes.
kids that are heroes,
Are we?
well, kids trying to be heroes.
Are we?
You get well. Speaking of kids,
There we go.
you guys are in a bit of a predicament at the moment. We started off last session with the group chasing after a charmed snake Zara, who was under the control of a group of harpies, you soon came to find out. After tracking her down and having a bit of a conversation with the harpy leader, you found out that she wanted to make a deal with you for your lives. But the first deal that she offered was not really one that you guys were open to necessarily, as she expressed interest in having the servitude, essentially, of Zara, Sabira, and Yixis. After a bit of back and forth, a bargain was struck, and offerings of various trinkets were made. Sabira also offered the last known location of Kay and his hunters. The harpy did accept on the condition that you guys also gave her the name of your matriarch, which you reluctantly did. The harpies let you leave. You return to your camp to finish out the night. In the morning, you had a bit of a conversation with the smith, who you found was still fast asleep in the spot that you left him. And you let him know what it was that you wanted from him. He said he would take about 4 days to craft everything for you guys, and that he would be rather grateful if you were to give him any potions of longevity that you came across. And after a relatively easy trek through the desert, you happened across a campsite. You happened across the campsite soon after hearing the distant sounds of animalistic fighting, which you identified one of the fighters in this matched that of the mysterious Shusuva friend of yours. The other was identified as some sort of canine beast. The sounds faded as you investigated the campsite, and in this investigation, Sabira found some echo stones, But other than that, the site was fairly barren. You did identify, however, that it was you identified it as the campsite of the same person from which you looted your cookware days prior. And you noted that large canine tracks headed northward from the camp, and humanoid tracks headed southward. You all opted to bunk down there for the night so that you may approach your destination to the west, the obelisk, in the daylight. But upon having dinner that evening, Isa found her food turning to ash, quite literally, in her mouth. And after a bit of conversation, Zara and Isa went looking to Zugtmoy for answers. And instead of answers, their minds were filled with the sights and sounds of torture. Determined to get to the bottom of this, Zara attempted to reach out once again and soon found herself trapped in some kind of mental prison, surrounded only by darkness and silence. The group decided to attempt to sleep through the night, but Isa quickly found out that the nightmare wasn't over yet, as her dreams were visited by a pair of sinister red eyes that insinuated that her soul hadn't been saved by Zugtmoy, and that she will slowly rot from the inside out. And it is there that we are going to pick up. Isa, every fiber of your being, I assume, wants to speak out or lash out or signal in some way to this presence. But you're unable to move. You're unable to speak. You cannot do anything but be forced to sit and listen to what this figure had to say to you. You've been in this situation before, where whoever or whatever this is spoke to you, and you were permitted to speak back, but it didn't like what you had to say at that time. And so it does not permit you those same generosities this time around.
If it
And
can
what
come
it's-
across, she's just sitting there trying to laugh. Like, just laugh and laugh and laugh.
As you sit there attempting to react in some way, and the eyes fading from your vision, the words sinking in, you find yourself, much like Zara, in emptiness. Nothing around you, no sounds, no sights. You still can't speak, you still can't move, and you are just stuck there for the time being. But outside of your dreams, Subira, you were the first one on watch. So if you want to go ahead and let me know which of your skills you are going to rely on for this watch, you can make those rolls.
Let me pull up my character sheet. Oh. I guess I'll just do survival. I'll just kind of be wary of what's going on with my two companions while at the same time trying to make sure that we're in a secure area because of all the crazy going on and being so close to this obelisk.
Okay.
Okay. Oh no. That's a 9.
Oh.
9, okay.
But that's not the perception, or that's not the percentile.
Yeah, it's not a total loss. You get a high number on the percentile.
That scared me. Teetered on the 1 for a moment there, and I was like, no. Ooh. Straight up 90.
9 and 90.
All
Okay.
the 9s. 9s across the board. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes me feel a little better.
I wish this result was more interesting than it is, but at least you guys are going to be alive.
Oh,
You-
Considering what's going on with our companions right now, yes.
Yeah. Um,
I'm not gonna bitch too much.
the results where nothing happens are always a little bit disappointing for me, but it means you guys at least live for another 2 hours. So you sit there, perhaps a little creepily to any observers, and you watch the area. You kind of get in tune with the sights and sounds of the area around you, keeping your ears and eyes alert for anything that is out of the ordinary, anything that stands out to you, and nothing really does.
Okay.
You see the occasional little critter skittering across the sand or flying through the air, but nothing big approaches the area. No strange sounds off in the distance. It's relatively quiet for the first couple hours of the night, and it's probably for the best. Your group has had a bit of a day.
Yeah.
So they do need all the rest that they can get, and this is certainly helping towards that goal. You are aware, though, now that you're sitting here and really getting a feel for the land, having scouted this area out at one point in the past, you know you're about a day and a half away from the crevice, the big crevice in the sand. It's to
Oh.
the southwest,
Yeah.
and that never really leaves the back of your mind. You know it's there, you know you don't want to approach it, and the group seems easily convinced to not approach it. So it's not like a constant worry, but it's there in the back of your mind, your proximity to it. But the
Yeah,
2
that's-
hours comes to a close.
During those 2 hours as well, like towards the end anyway, she's gonna go ahead and she's going to one at a time hold on to those echo stones and open up her journal to start recording what they say.
The ones that you found in the camp.
Yes.
Okay. You go through those echo stones, touch them, and nothing happens. Which tells you that these echo stones are blank.
Oh.
Which means you can use them for your own purposes at any point. All you have to do is speak a command word in order to activate it, and it will record what you speak aloud in that moment.
Nice. Okay, so I have two. Hold on.
I believe it was 2.
Yes, I have. Okay, so I have 4 total. So I have 2 that are recordings and 2 that are blank. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I imagine you would have done a bit of studying on these stones, the ones that
Yes.
you've had in the past, and also these ones that now that you know that they're blank. You can determine that they are single use. So once you record something on it, that recording stays on it until the stone is either dispelled or destroyed. And that there doesn't really seem to be any sort of limit to how long they can record.
Like to record my autobiography.
I mean, yeah, if you want to record an entire
audiobook.
book, you don't know if it's possible, but you don't get any indication that it's not possible either.
We're just gonna set one to record and just let it go for however long it goes for.
You do
Like
also
just
know
like a bud dial or something, and just it's just
yeah,
nonsense in the background.
it records all noise within a 15-foot radius of the stone while it's recording. So if you're having a conversation with someone, or maybe you're trying to get some dirt on someone, you slip one in your pocket and activate it without them knowing, record a conversation that you're having with them, type of thing. Totally possible, as long as it's within 15 feet of the stone.
Okay. And I'm going to kind of just make a little mini map on one of my journal pages, just kind of keeping track of where I found these stones and where potentially these strange people are heading and whatnot. Especially now I know that they've mentioned the group before, and they've talked about certain encounters that I either know about or we witnessed, and all so on and so forth. I actually do not remember who was next up.
Next up was Isa.
I'm gonna tap her.
She does not wake.
Isa. She's gonna shake her violently, like grab both of her shoulders and just go shake.
Give me a medicine check.
I'd say Etha's also one of those floppers when she sleeps. Has she been oddly still?
Find out.
I have to scroll back up because I was making notes about the stones. Medicine. Okay, I am proficient in that. That's good. 16.
16? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As you are shaking her, you notice that she does feel quite cold, similar to Zara, in fact. Though she isn't like rigid, like she's dead or anything. She is breathing, although it is a slow in and out of her breath. So with that medicine check, you're beginning to suspect that whatever is inflicting Zara is also now inflicting Isa.
She's gonna go ahead and with both hands still on her shoulders, cast frostbite and just
Okay.
watch the ice kind of like go over her shoulders and kind of up her neck a little bit and see if there's any reaction.
Let me see that spell real quick. There is no reaction.
No reaction? Okay. It's
Doesn't
okay, it'll
seem
flake
to have
off
done any
in a little
damage
bit.
to her either, so there is that.
Oh, that was just gonna say, now did she take damage from it? She's just gonna leave it because she knows it's just gonna flake off in a few seconds anyway. Well, she doesn't know much about this mother other than what she recalled from her religion check and from what Zara mentioned. So without any library or books that she would oh so desperately love to do some research on further on this, she's just gonna sign disappointment and walk over to Xerix.
Oh God. Oh God, please, no.
She's gonna do the same thing as before and just shake him first.
A whole separate night watch chart for Xerix, and there's only one thing on it.
Hey, we're down 2 people, technically 3, so
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so
Xena,
you
I
shake.
think Xena already like
He
claimed
signed up for a
watch or
watch.
something, so or
Yeah,
whatever.
the order that you guys discussed before anyone went to sleep was Subira first, Isa second, Xena third, and Yixis fourth.
Which is why she is doing Xerix.
Yeah, so you go to shake Xerix, and Xerix, you
Not
wake up.
violently as before with Isa. She usually does a courtesy shake, and then if they don't, she gets a little more crazy. But so she'll just do the couple little shakes.
You open your eyes, Xerix, and see that creepy, wide-eyed look of Subira staring down at you.
Almost touching your nose with mine. Xerix.
I help you.
Isa's unavailable to watch right now. She seems to be in the same state as Zara.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Can't be good.
No, and
Huh.
there's no library around, so I am frustrated, but it can't be helped, so why dwell on it?
Oh,
Your turn to watch.
all right.
And so she's going to sit back on the other side of the campfire and pull out that book. And for the next 6 hours, she's going to read that book.
Okay.
A special book.
Now, is Isa just sort of sitting upright, or
Isa, I believe, fell asleep like on Zara almost, like she was around her and protecting her. So
After
she's
I-
kind
I
of like,
think she said she slumped next to her, like having her head on her shoulder, kind of.
yeah, she's like
situation.
cuddled up with Zara.
After I rolled Zara into a
To
burrito.
bother you, but could you read your book relatively close to them in case something happens?
I suppose I could. However, me sitting directly across from them gives me a better view because all I have to do is just glance up from my book instead of side eye or turn my head.
Fair.
But I am keeping watch
Good enough.
occasionally.
Just in case something goes horridly awry.
If it does, I will certainly check them, and I may have something to help their situation momentarily, but it will not be a great solution. Just help.
Mild concern. Anyways,
I am no healer, but can stop the dead and raise it and talk to it.
yet again, mild concern, but that's fine.
She
I've
goes
heard
back to her
worse
book.
things.
Okay, Xerax, which of your skills are you relying on?
Perception.
Okay.
Okay, that's not horrible. That is a 25 on the perception
Good roll.
and a 72 on the percentile.
25.
Xerax just like have
72.
great rolls.
Wow. What
Did
was
have
that?
Great rolls. Okay. So, Xerax, you are walking a bit of a tight perimeter around your camp area. And you happen to notice about an hour into your watch to the southeast of your camp, about 140 feet away, there appears to be an oasis. And in the center of that oasis is a humanoid who, from this distance, appears to be standing there looking directly at you with their arms crossed across their chest.
Okay, I'm gonna start like without losing eye contact with the Oasis. Do everything possible. Actually, she's awake, isn't she? Sabira doesn't
yes.
actually sleep.
Correct.
Not that you know of.
Sabira, Sabira,
Yes,
Sabira,
yes. I heard yes. What?
and just motioning for you to come over to where I'm standing.
She'll walk over, look in the direction that you're peering at.
And you see the same thing that Xerax did. Off in that direction seems to be a small oasis, and in the center of the pool of water is a humanoid figure standing there, looking in your direction.
I'm not going crazy, am I? That is there.
Curious? It wasn't there when I was patrolling.
I'm aware of that. It tends to follow me, it seems.
So this
As
has
you
happened
say
before.
as you say that it tends to follow you, this figure, very unlike every other time you've seen them, begins to walk out of the oasis towards you. And it looks like they're almost angrily stomping across the sand as they're making
That's
their way towards you.
new and mildly concerning. This is a new part of this.
What? The figure?
Not supposed to be walking this way.
Well, why not just let it?
I'm going to, but I'm concerned.
Would you like to step a little further away from the camp and I'll assist you?
Sure.
Unless you want to go alone.
Nope. 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 That's a very bad idea. Mainly
right.
because I have no idea what that is.
How often has this happened? This
Yes.
traveling oasis.
More frequently than I would like to admit.
Can I do an Arcana check? This has been like some sort of weird
Sure.
myth or magic that maybe I've heard of.
Sure.
Arcana. Okay.
At least I've got one of the arcane people awake with me this time.
24.
24. Okay. There's definitely some sort of magic going on here. If this oasis is following Xerax, then chances are it is the figure that is making its way towards Xerax that is the source of the oasis, whether it's something that they can manifest naturally or it's a mirage of some kind. You don't really know without getting a good look, but there's definitely some sort of magic happening. And at this point, the figure is about 45 feet away from you guys, and you can get a better look at what they are. Now, Xerax, every time you've seen them in the past, they have appeared to be a quite attractive gnoll. But now, it's very much not that. What you're seeing is a tan-skinned humanoid female. Looks like a human. And she looks to be wearing some sort of very thin, very revealing, translucent silk robe that is kind of an off-white in color. And she doesn't seem to be slowing down as she makes her way towards you. With your passive insight, you can tell by the expression on her face that she appears to be quite upset.
You're not cursed, are you?
Not that I'm aware of.
She'll put her leather bookmark in the spot of that book and just kind of tuck it away and go,
Well, this will be interesting. Shall we meet them? Her?
Why not?
Very well.
start walking towards her.
And you only get like 3 or 4 steps before you are face to face with this human female figure.
Yeah, bitch came up on us
And-
fast.
Yeah, she did not stop to listen to your conversations.
That's fair.
She walks right up to Xerax
Oh,
and narrows her eyes at him. She looks very, very upset, specifically with him.
What have I done?
And there's just this tension there, this silent tension for a few moments. And then suddenly she raises her hand and slaps Xerax across the muzzle, spinning on
Mira's
her
like-
heels and stomping back towards the oasis.
oh.
I don't think
Oh.
I deserve that.
Oh, you're not cursed. You broke her heart? I don't judge.
Yes, thank you.
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, that's even worse. Women don't like that, from what I understand.
Do I even know who she is? That is a better
You
question.
have never seen this person in your life.
Yep.
Did you have a one-night stand with her in a drunken stupor and then forgot?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, of course you would have forgotten. You were drunk.
When she gets to about 60 to 70 feet away from you guys, you can see the oasis and this humanoid figure kind of start to flicker and wave a bit, like heat waves rising off of sand almost. And both the oasis and her begin to fade away from view until they're completely gone.
When she got really close, was I able to kind of determine what kind of humanoid she may have been?
Give me a nature check.
Oh, okay, cool. I was like, oh god, do I even know nature? I do. Okay, we're good. We're fine. We're fine.
Oh, that is a 16?
16. She looked just like an ordinary human. As mentioned, tan skin, very revealing gown that she was wearing, but nothing about her said like, oh, this is some sort of elf descendant, or this is a creature disguised as a human. She
Like no
just
markings.
looked like a human.
Okay.
Not some random vampire masquerading as a human.
Whoa.
Without further inspection,
Whoa.
the best assumption is that she was a human.
Oh,
This is just because it's something that my kind would wear. I mean, if he said it was like see-through and billowy, I would assume it is very thin silk.
yet again,
Or
you
she.
sure not a vampire? Okay.
Actually, Xerix, do you have any like favored enemy types or anything of that sort?
Aberrations.
Okay, she was not an aberration.
Okay.
Oh snap! Not very many people pick that one.
It seemed fitting for Planeswalker.
Yeah,
Horizon
Oh, of
Walker.
course.
aberrations
100%.
and monstrosities, both good choices for planeswalkers.
Very true. Very true.
It's like, I'm going to encounter the weird in all of this, so why not?
This is probably a bit of a stretch, but would I be able to? I guess in a way, this is kind of me backtracking to that Arcana check. Could I potentially determine what kind of magic that is? As far as like, is it druidic? Is it higher up, like wizard or sorcerer?
Yeah, because that Arcana check was so high, you can give me a history check to see if you have
Actually,
heard about, read about, or otherwise encountered anything such.
You know what? I'm also going to do one other thing before that thing disappears.
Okay.
As my brain is hitching on this. Detect portal.
Okay, you detect portal, and for the first time in the last like 2 days, you do not detect any portals.
Huh.
28.
28. Okay, yeah, that was absolutely a type of magic that you have heard about in passing stories before. Now that you have seen it firsthand, that was absolutely, without a doubt, Fey magic.
Oh, you're a naughty, naughty boy. Okay. Like, are you sure? Never mind. You would have been drunk. You would have remembered. Well, you certainly pissed off that woman, and I don't know if it has to do with what you have done or what your current actions are, if she's been clearly stalking you. That girl needs to get a life.
I've never been stalked by a mirage before.
It's not a mirage. Though it may seem like that's a common misconception, considering how the most common thing that people see wandering in the desert isn't, in fact, an oasis. Which is probably what she's using to manipulate most of the people, maybe even your eyes.
Right. What was she then?
Oh, she was more than likely Fae. They have a
Right.
unique kind of magic.
What in the world would I have done to upset a Fae?
I don't know you or your life, so that's something you have to figure out for yourself.
I know my life, and I have questions.
I also have questions. I'm very curious as to why this is happening and why she's stalking you, but it's never good when anyone, Fae or not, is stalking you. It's creepy when people just watch you.
You don't say.
I wouldn't know. And she'll pat him on the back and go right back to the campfire and pull out her book.
Okay. And Xerix, for the rest of your watch, it's uneventful.
Well, that's a new one for me. Okay. Come back into the camp. Has Isa moved yet?
I'll look over. Check pulses.
Pulses are there, slow but steady. Breathing
Not
is there,
dead?
slow but steady. But
Not
not
undead.
moving.
They're fine, or well, at least physically, they're fine. No change.
Right. Walk over to where Yixis is sleeping, pick him up by the scruff of the neck, set him on his feet.
Or you exist.
It's
There is a profound flailing of limbs, if that's how he's being woken up.
it's your turn to watch. Watch for random Fae.
Faye, what are Faye doing around here?
It's a very good question.
Well, what did you see?
It's a very good question.
Okay, you're confusing me now.
That's yeah. If you have questions, ask Sabira.
Severa, what did he see?
He told you. Faye. I don't know what was confusing about that. He saw Faye.
Neither of
just
you
say
is very
Xerix
good
did
at
a naughty thing.
communicating.
Just did a naughty thing.
Either way, it's your watch, Pop. I'm getting rest.
Oh, okay.
Think on what you've done, Xerix.
I'm
Wait,
trying.
what did he do?
It's a good question.
That's what he has to figure out. I understand that you're just waking up and you're not comprehending what's going on, but keep up, pup.
She's calling him up.
What kind of fee was it?
A humanoid. Of the Fae kind.
Didn't we go over that part?
Still so very not helpful. Okay.
Well, if you see a Fae, ask her.
That may not be a good idea. But okay.
If she marches over here angrily, well, ask.
He'll have no fury.
Apparently. Huh. And with that, I am going back to sleep.
Okay, so Yixis, which of your skills will you rely on?
Oh, that is a question. That is a
I'm
question
still-
that should be asked.
I'm still
A
waiting
question that
for
should
those
be answered.
watches done with Arcana. Come on.
I mean, don't tempt me.
Given the way things have been going, I'm sure it would be possible.
I mean, we have intimidated nature before. Seemed to go okay.
Let's see here.
Wasn't me, though.
I mean, Arcana is one of my best, highest stats.
I mean, if you can explain to me how you're using it to do your watch, I'm certainly open to it.
Is it like a metal detector, but it's a magic detector, and he's just going around going boop, boop.
Yeah.
Has nature or investigation been used yet tonight? I'm pretty sure I heard survival and perception.
Yeah, it's
You're
just
good,
been
bro.
survival and perception so far.
Okay. I will. We'll use investigation, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of curious about what I just heard about, and I will look for further signs of other things going on. So that is going to be a 23 investigation.
Okay, good roll.
And percentiles 65.
23 and 65. Okay. Give me a perception roll with advantage.
Natural 20 for 21.
Natural 20 for 21. Okay. You hear this the moment it kicks off, and because of your nat 20 and adept Gnoll ears, you know the distance on these sounds as well. So, about 15 minutes after Xerax falls asleep and you begin your watch, you begin to hear screeching and yipping way off in the distance from the direction that you guys came from, actually. And from the volume of it and the echo that you're hearing, you're fairly confident in estimating that these sounds are coming from a location about 6 hours back from where you guys currently are. And the noises that you're hearing, much like the animals fighting that you heard early in the day, is the sound of fighting. But this is the sound of gnolls fighting. Gnolls mixed with something else. Something strange. It almost sounds like language, but almost like birds shrieking at the same time. And there's a lot of it. Like a dozen different voices at least. And it goes on for a good while. You hear this scuffle press on for like 35, 40 minutes before it begins to finally die down. And when all the noises of this fighting have subsided, it's quiet for a few seconds. And then suddenly there's a loud yipping and cackling that carries across the surface of the desert to your location. The sound of a hard-fought, bloody victory. A Gnoll war cry.
Ah, fuck.
And then it is silent for the remainder of your watch.
Alrighty.
Did I happen to hear that at all, or was that just him kind of paying more attention? Just out of curiosity.
You can give me a perception check with advantage as well.
No. Well, let me see. Perception +2. Nope. My highest was a 7.
7. It's really just background noise. You're too focused on your book at the moment.
All right.
You guys did set something in motion last session, and those of you currently in Roll20, if you scroll up in the chat, you can see I resolved that particular thing right before the session today.
I am not gonna lie. I'm if Subira knew, she's so secretly happy about that because of the whole Zael name thing. She's like, I am not comfortable with this. Woohoo!
But thankfully, none of those noises get louder and closer. It is quiet for the remainder of this watch. And you guys are safe? Question mark.
They got what they deserved.
That's also very true, yeah. Yeah, I did not like that.
And so, Yixis, your watch comes to an end. You do know that currently Iza and Zara cannot be awakened. Xerax has already had his watch. And because Kiara's not here to roll for Xena, Subira, if you want to take a second watch, you can. Or you can all just forget the last watch and go to sleep.
Not with lurking random Fae out there, no.
And the now angry party of gnolls.
Well, she will. Even though it pains her to not read the last 2 hours, but I mean, she has sleepless nights, so it's not like it's gonna take her forever to read that book, so it's cool. Although I need to mark that because I need to read 48 hours of it.
Yes, 48 hours total, I believe.
Okay, what did I read? I read about 4 hours of it so far. Okay,
Yep, 4 hours.
we're out of 48. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, she's just because of what was going on with Xerix and everything, she is going to she's gonna do investigation. She just wants to check out like what exactly was going on with that oasis.
Okay.
As well as just anything of interest in the area, but more curious about the oasis. Oh.
Roll that investigation.
18 and better than like 9. That is a 61.
18 and 61. Okay, you guys have been getting decent rolls for the night watch.
I mean, thankfully,
have
considering we're down 2 people at the moment.
right down the middle on this, which right down the middle usually means uneventful, so it's kind of a good thing. So you take this opportunity now that you're kind of feeling safe after 6 hours throughout the night. Nothing has really happened. You're confident that nothing is going to approach your camp in the waking hours of the morning. There is always a present danger, though. So you take this opportunity to go investigate the area where you spotted this oasis. And you can give me a roll of some kind. How are you investigating it? What are you looking for specifically? Are you trying to detect anything? Are you just trying to look for physical traces of something being here?
Yeah, I want to continue my investigation and see if I see anything physical traces. Maybe anything that she potentially left behind, or anything to indicate maybe even further what type of fae this is more specifically. So I would probably do more of, well, I guess that's up to you if that would be Arcana or investigation, considering it was fae magic, but that's kind of what I'm doing with detect magic up.
Okay. We'll carry over the investigate roll. When you get to the area, you do see physical traces of something being here. You see the sand has kind of been pushed aside slightly where the oasis was sitting, and you very clearly see the footsteps of this creature from when they stomped right up to you guys and then went back to the oasis. You retrace that path a bit and find exactly where this creature began to disappear, and the footsteps that it left in the sand go from heavy to lighter and lighter and lighter until they just disappear altogether. So it was physically there. There was a tangible creature there in that moment. And you can give me, because of the Arcana check earlier and the history roll, because of that, I'll actually just give it to you. You, now that you're investigating it, are pretty confident you know what this creature may have been. And it is a creature known as Mirager. They, in their natural form, are indistinguishable from just ordinary sand, but they are able to change their shape, polymorph almost, though a weird fey version of it, into whatever they feel would be most attractive to their target. And they try to entice a creature into approaching them alone so that they can charm them. And usually you've heard stories of them feeding on the creatures that they charm, though there was the occasional story as well of these fey creatures actually turning the creatures in their favor, almost. So they didn't have to charm them anymore. They're convincing these creatures that, they're not evil, though morally it is kind of ambiguous. But there is tale of some of them living peacefully among their chosen mate.
Oh. Sabira is very much she's smart enough to put two and two together. So she starts to decipher that with what Xerix has told her before, saying that how she wasn't there before, or she wasn't in that form, and how she like stomped over and everything angrily, that she's starting to think maybe she was attempting to charm him at first and then maybe chose him as her lover and got pissed off, maybe because he's around other women. Who knows? Don't know her story yet, but she's kind of putting that together. And then she kind of smirks like, oh, this bitch, and starts to walk back to camp.
Like Faye doing Faye things to me.
And much like your previous watch in the night, the remainder of this one is uneventful, for the sun begins to rise on the horizon. The rest of your group stirs awake. Zara and Iza, you both do awaken, and you have both had the effect of a long rest, but you both also have a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Subira, like before, is staring at Xerix uncomfortably close before he wakes up.
What did I do?
Nothing, though you are correct. You're unaware of what you did.
And she'll walk away.
Good?
Oh, you're awake. Glad you are still among the living?
She looks at Iza and Zara.
If that's what you want to call it.
You do look like hell.
Mm.
That's normal.
Yeah.
So were you in the eternal blackness as well?
Yeah. Though I didn't enter it until after I went to sleep.
Care to enlighten us of what happened?
Oh, nothing happened. Literally nothing happened.
Literal darkness.
Yes. As if I was in a void by myself. No voices.
Interesting.
No anything. Worthy response. Did you get a response on your end, Iza?
Nope.
All right, we will have to try again tonight.
You're going to attempt this again.
Yes.
Is that safe?
Probably not.
Do you
Yet-
feel as though your mother is punishing both of you?
I don't know her well enough to know what her methods are or if I've upset her in any way. Her bringing Iza back was the first time I've ever had any actual interaction with her.
Interesting. I must look this up next time we go to a library. It's very frustrating not being able to read about it.
Well, maybe they'll have a library in that obelisk over there.
It is a possibility. I cannot rule it out. But now the thought of it is very exciting.
As long as we're not consistently stalked by any more Fae, we should be fine.
Faye,
Fae,
Xerix has a stalker.
do you
We
remember
have-
do you remember the oasis? The magical oasis?
that annoyance that kept following you around.
Apparently it's Fae.
Oh, wonderful. So we have that to worry about now.
Well, more like Xerix has something to worry about. I think she's in love with you.
Is there an option B?
Kill it.
Yes, she can eat you.
I don't like either option.
So you,
Well, when you're alive in.
so you kill it. Get
Hmm,
rid of it.
it is possible. But it would be dangerous to fight a fae such as that.
Why do Fae always want to eat people?
It's in their nature. That and trickery.
To be fair, I can ask the same thing of our people.
Indeed.
On that note, I'm gonna go get breakfast. I'm gonna go for my morning hunt.
Ixis is spending the time to recast shaman armor and do tiny servant has become his morning and nightly ritual.
Okay, so Iza is going hunting. Ixis is casting his morning rituals. What about the rest of you?
I think we have a good, maybe hour before we get on the road, maybe. So she's going to take this opportunity to squeeze in another hour of reading her book.
Okay.
Dina's probably doing her morning laps and exercises.
The morning
Quite
zoomies.
loudly and quite joyfully.
And
All her morning zoomies.
Zara's gonna try to drop it into the inner gate trance again. See if she can't get a glimpse of to what possible futures hold in store for them, or if she's just gonna be blocked again by the grinning and cackling thing in the sky.
Okay. And what about Xerax?
A quick morning hunt while everybody's getting everything together.
Okay. Are you going with Iza on her hunt, or are you going separately?
Going with Iza.
Okay. So we will go over all of that as soon as we come back from our first break. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Get up, stretch your legs, refresh your drinks, do what you got to do. We'll be right here.
I'm
All
hoping she'll
right,
come
we are
back.
back.
We don't know if there's any us left on Tuesday. Hi, welcome back.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Actually, you'll find out in 2 weeks.
Oh, I know. I meant when we discuss it.
Tomorrow's just the recap of what happened.
So, speaking of what happened, we had a few people doing a few things. We will start off with Zara. You are looking into the possibilities of the next 24 hours, yes?
Indeed, I am.
Okay, so you sit down and enter your familiar trance, and you don't even get to the point of being kind of pulled up into the air. So you feel yourself leaving your form, but something grabs onto your shoulders and holds you there. And you hear that familiar cackling laughter, almost like a jester laughing at you right in your ears. It's very loud. And whatever it is that's holding on to you spins you around really quickly, and you see that same gaunt face as you did before, looking back at you with the disgustingly wide mouth, stubby nose, and pointed chin, and the frazzled mohawk going down its head. And it laughs right in your face. And then suddenly you're back into reality. Your attempt to look into the future foiled once again by whatever this is.
I'm getting real tired of this. We have an issue. Something or someone is blocking sight. You're muted.
Does it have a name?
It hasn't given me one yet. Just it laughs in my face and I'm back here. Looks gaunt. Human-like. Got a mohawk. Very unnerving grit to it. Very unnatural.
Does it sound like anything I've encountered?
Give me history or just straight intelligence.
What's the
At
difference?
advantage because of your experience.
14.
14? It could be any number of things that you're vaguely familiar with, none of which are good, and none of which are from this plane.
Okay.
So, on that revelation, Iza and Xerax depart the camp to go hunting, if I'm remembering correctly.
See.
You can both give me survival rolls for this, or one of you with advantage.
Let's do one each. Switch it up. Make it interesting. You're muted.
Yep. Mine will be at 11.
Survival 16.
16? Okay. Between the 16 and Iza's ability to always somehow manage to find food for everyone, you guys actually happen across the nest that Iza pilfered the ostrich eggs from the night before.
And just reminding you of that.
Yes, and that. All you rangers and hunters and your damn abilities. Yeah, so you come across the nest that you pilfered the eggs from before, and you spot, an ostrich curled up in that nest where its eggs used to be. And, well, there's a lot of meat on an ostrich.
There is.
So you creep up on this ostrich as it is laying in its nest, manage to get the jump on it quickly and, well, I was going to say humanely, but you're Gnolls. So you eventually stop it from wriggling and writhing around beneath your hands and drag it back to the camp. Unless there's anything else you guys wanted to do while you were out at the desert.
I mean, while we're tearing into it, can I pop a piece of, like, basically try and eat a piece of it during that whole process?
Yeah, you
Yes.
can tear off a chunk of meat,
Yeah.
and as you begin to chew it, you feel it turning to ash in your mouth.
Okay. Right.
Look at Isa. Any luck?
Better than last night.
That's not a high bar.
No, it's not. I will start dragging the ostrich away. Towards camp.
And everyone at camp, anyone that's paying attention anyway, Yixis, your rituals are complete by the time they return. You all see them returning with a nice, big, juicy ostrich.
And I would like to defeather the ostrich.
Easy enough to do. It's not the first time you've had ostrich. Probably won't be the last time. You're familiar enough with how to clean them.
Oh, how is
The point
my
here
little
being
egg
also
doing?
saving them.
Oh, that's right. You do have that. How many days has it been now? I think it's...
Yes, it's been days.
I want to say this is day 5.
Sure.
I want to say that as the DM, you're probably right.
I will say with full confidence that this is day 5. The egg is looking still nice and cozy. Placing your fingers on it gently, you can feel something inside of the shell. There's a warmth there, and if you jostle it slightly, which you probably shouldn't do, but you're a Gnoll, so you do it, and you feel movement, very, very slight movement within the egg, so you know that whatever is in there is, at the very least, comfortable and alive for the time being.
All right. I shall name him Squishy.
Probably don't name him that.
I mean, as we're preparing breakfast, I imagine Xena would want to cook with her cookware.
I would imagine
do
so.
that?
I will make the roll on her behalf as soon as I find her character sheet.
I only say it because it's completely 100% what she does every day.
It is, and don't let me make that roll ever again.
Damn it.
Yeah, that was a nat 1. But it's prepared well enough to eat. You guys don't get any bonuses from it. But
Only slightly burnt.
We're all
yeah,
poisoned.
slightly burnt. There are some good bones in there to gnaw on as well. You guys all have full stomachs, except for Isa, who has
She's
about
just
full
going
mash.
to eat and try to pretend like she's eating normally.
Are you swallowing the ash?
I don't see how she can't without letting everyone know that she's still preparing food to ash. So yes, she's swallowing the ash.
Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Does this dice like Isa? Oh, this dice does like Isa. Constitution, that's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay. The first time you go to swallow that ash, you feel it go down, and then there is an intense burning in your stomach and your esophagus, like you've just swallowed a vial of acid, almost. And you are, in fact, going to take 4 acid damage from that.
Okay.
You did make your con save, so you are not throwing up. But you do know that continuing to try and force this ash down your throat is going to be a bad idea.
Okay, she won't do that some more.
You can hold the ash in your mouth without any ill effects. If you want to, like, try to keep it in your mouth, wait till nobody's looking, spit it out type of thing.
She'll do that.
But swallowing it is a bad idea.
She'll do that then.
Okay. And give me a stealth roll for this if you're trying to do it without anyone noticing. This
Now
will
my
be
armor gives me
versus-
disadvantage. Do I still have to do this with disadvantage?
No.
Okay.
This will be versus everyone's passive perception.
Bring it.
Stealth. That's actually pretty good. That's a 22. Yeah, 22.
I'm fairly confident that beats everyone's passive perception.
Yep.
So nobody notices
Definitely
you.
mine.
Nobody notices you spitting this ash out.
Covered it with sand with my foot. Ashy sand over here.
And as you guys are finishing up your breakfast, your camp is suddenly rocked by a really loud cracking noise. Seems to be almost centered right on your camp. And you all quickly kind of look around for the source of it, and you happen to spot in an unoccupied area of the camp what almost looks like a crack just forming in the air of bright white light. Then from within this crack, you see fingers emerge. They are like a dark blue, purple, shifting color, almost like there's clouds of mist within these fingers, and there's a dark greenish blue mist coming off of them, and they grip onto the sides of this crack and begin to pull it open.
How big is this crack you're speaking of?
It starts about a foot off the ground, and it moves through the air to a height of about 7 feet. Yeah, let's go with
Okay.
7 feet.
That was substantially less intimidating than I imagined.
Nope, I'm sorry, I lied. 12 feet.
Okay, that's still not as big as I originally thought. I was like, there's.
I
this
was thinking
huge-
like kilometer-long crack and just
Yeah.
it's like
nope, not
nope.
that big.
Yep. No, I was thinking of something much bigger too. Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
not as panicky now, but I'm still panicky. Okay.
The astral Tarask has now shown itself.
Oh, no.
That's
Oh,
where
God.
my brain went. I was like, angry Jin?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
you're
Standing
fine.
up, grabbing weapon.
Okay, that's
You're
that's
fine.
less
It's-
intimidating than I thought. But oh god.
Xerix,
Only about 12 feet.
What do we do?
I'm just going to assume that it's extra planar at this point.
Actually, that is a good question.
It's kind of worrisome if it's not extra planar and it has the ability to like just tear a hole in space time.
Yes, it does.
Agreed.
Are you using any of your abilities to detect whether or not it is a portal or a planar thing?
The first question is it a aberration of any breed?
No.
Okay, then I will hit the planar portal ability.
Okay. So you use your planar portal ability, and everything about this screams portal, but your ability does not say that it is a portal.
Well, I have good news and bad news.
Hit us.
Well, the good news is it's not that's not a planar portal.
That's unsettling. So what's the bad news?
I have no idea what it is.
Hmm.
And as you say that, you see these misty hands begin to pull open this crack. And you can begin to see through to the other side of it. And what you see looks like the night sky, but with clouds of shifting colors moving through it. You can see stars that look like they're hundreds of thousands of miles away in the distance within this crack. And this figure that is trying to pull it open, you can see now their face appears to be that of a skull almost. Bright pinkish purple, but it's missing like the top half of it. And instead there's just jets of mist wafting out of it that contain more of these like nebulous star clusters within it.
Still not extraplanar.
Give me an intelligence check, Xerax. Or history, your choice.
Is he the only one that can do this?
I'm uncomfortable.
Yes, because of his background.
Okay.
With or without advantage?
Just straight roll.
8.
8. Okay. I'm going to say that's enough just because of what you are. You are very familiar with the planes and the way the planes work. And you know that between the planes is a space called the Void. Bad things happen there.
That's less okay.
And
wouldn't
everything
have
that
to
you
do
know
it.
about the Void looks just like what you're seeing. Everything that you recall about these empty spaces between the planes makes you think that that is what you're looking at right now. And this figure that's trying to pull open this crack finally succeeds in pulling it open about 5 feet in width.
This could be bad.
We should flee.
That's
Do we
okay.
hit it or do we not hit it?
On the upside, I know what that is now.
We hit it.
Xerix, what's going on?
I'm gonna cast.
You're looking into the void, the
I'm gonna-
space between planes.
I'm gonna cast
And
Cult
the
Lightning
void
directly
looked
down
back.
onto it.
Directly down onto it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So the clouds roll in, and in the blink of an eye, a bolt of lightning strikes down on top of where this figure is emerging from this tear in the space in front of you. And the creature, whatever it is, whoever it is, raises their hand up, and the lightning bolt strikes it. And they begin to close their fingers down around what is now a persistent lightning bolt. And you can see all of the light in this bolt begin to kind of coalesce within their palm. And it's almost like they're sucking the energy down out of the clouds above before they clench their fist and it dissipates. And they begin to move through this portal that they've created. And you can see their form in its entirety at this point. And they stand about 11 feet in height. And they're wearing a long, dark greenish tan coat that has symbols of all kinds just dancing all over it. They don't seem to have any lower torso. It just, their upper body disappears into the waist of this coat and there's just nothing below. but when they move, it looks like they're taking steps despite not having legs. And once they've fully emerged from this doorway, they look around and observe all of you for a moment. And then you hear them speak. But what you hear is just a cacophony of noises and words playing all at once in your minds. And then they observe you once more, looking for a reaction. And upon not seeing one, the lower jaw of the lower half, the only half of their skull, opens. And they speak once again, but this time in common. I sense the void on you. Give me information, and you will be rewarded. And he stands there
Who's he
waiting
looking
for a
at?
response. He's looking at all of you. He doesn't actually have eyes. Top half of his skull is missing. Kind of hard to tell, but he's like observing all of you.
Which one of you played in the void?
What's the
what
void?
information are you looking for?
Location. A door.
A door to what?
Trouble.
Does this door talk?
A door to trouble.
It has spoken.
How many heads does it have?
Many.
I look over to Xerix for maybe confirmation. He's speaking of that dragon door.
He might be.
Thought we weren't supposed to
Why
speak of
would
the
a
dragon.
creature of the void be interested in that door?
Interesting.
Moreover, why are we trying to make a deal with a creature of the void?
Because it looks like it might be able to kill all of us if it decides it's mad at us.
Pup, that is every day that it has the sunrise and sunset.
Yeah, I know, I'm getting really tired of it.
Why do you seek this door?
That is none of your concern. Give me information, and you will be rewarded.
We've seen the door once.
Where?
It was a long time ago, and I don't exactly remember.
It
This guy
moves.
sees
Open
this
up her
door?
map and point to the location that she probably remembers that.
It moves.
Easy, you're not helping.
It's no longer there.
However, it appears in a less violent manner than ripping open the whatever you just did.
So, Isa, are you actually pointing out on the map?
She probably would have started to when he said he wasn't helping. She would have stopped.
Has Yixis seen this door, or was that before Yixis was part of the party?
I think it was before you.
Yeah, I
Same
was.
question.
It was before.
It
yeah.
was very
Okay.
early on.
That was BY before Yixis.
I want to say that was like just after you guys left the Coliseum.
Yeah.
It was.
Sometime around there, yeah.
Let's go with just after the Coliseum, but before the monk on the dune.
I mean, if you guys have seen the door and don't owe anything to it, why are you trying to protect it?
We've seen a door, but the door
But is it the
moves.
door you're looking for?
Indeed. What does this door look like?
Shines. It speaks.
That's it.
That's rather non-specific, unfortunately.
That could be a number of things out here. You are in a very
Ooh.
strange location.
Raises up its hand and it points directly at Isa. Where was the door?
She's gonna scratch her head like, I'm trying to remember. Not
You
sure.
have the scent of the door on you.
It's no longer here.
Lingers. It can be brought back.
Why do you want to find it?
This is not your concern. Give me information, and you will be rewarded.
We told you what we know.
You lie.
The door moves. The door left us. We have no idea that or what it even is.
Tell me where you encountered it.
In this desert.
Point on your map.
You remember the part where it caught your lightning bolt, right?
And I don't seem to remember where on the map. I'm not very much a map person.
Didn't exactly have this map at the time, so I don't really have it marked down.
Then do not resist, and I will look in your memory myself.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
Then point on your map.
Gonna look at Zara. What do I do? Leader!
no. As I hold the map out. Or I hold a hand out for the map.
Unroll the map. And walk over to where Zara is so she can do whatever she's gonna do. Not letting go of the map.
And I just run a hand over it. It's somewhere in this area. As I run it all over the desert, because she honestly doesn't remember.
Could everybody give me wisdom saving throws, please?
No. Isa cannot do a wisdom saving throw. It's not wisdom.
Ah, yes. Yes, I can.
Do I have to roll for Xena?
Yes. Because Xena was absolutely present at the time.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how much Isa would actually remember. Or Xena would remember.
It's in your mind somewhere. That's all that matters.
Like,
It's not in
it's
mine.
oh shit.
It's true. It's not.
Oh shit.
Or mine.
Okay.
Also true.
So
16.
Isa got 13.
Okay.
Xena got a dirty one. I rolled a 2 and it turned into a 1.
Oh, I was trying to think of what a dirty one was.
I rolled a 2 and she has a -1.
I got a 27.
Okay.
7.
23.
Okay. So everybody begins to feel a pressure on their minds. And your vision begins to shake and vibrate almost. Zara and Sabira, you're able to shake this off. And your mind becomes clear and your vision straightens out once again. But everybody else, you feel something press into your mind. Like something's pressing at your temples and almost breaking through the skin and bone and writhing around in your mind. Like it's looking for something specific. After just a second or two, Yixis, you feel whatever this is recede from your mind. And your vision clears up. It did not find what it was looking for in you. But Isa, Xerax and Xena, you feel violated by whatever this is. It is forcing itself into your memories and looking through your eyes at everything that you have done. And it feels like minutes go by, but it's just seconds, for it seems to have found what it was looking for and recedes out of your minds. Your vision clears up. The creature observes all of you once more in silence. You have been rewarded. And it waves its hand through the air, and in front of it, about 5 feet off the ground, there is little puffs of dark black smoke. And as they fade, you see where they originated. There's, how many of you are there? There's 6 of you. 6 points in the air, and in those points is a black ring that is slowly rotating and just hangs there in the air as this creature turns around, begins to step back through this doorway it made. And as it fully steps through, the crack begins to close up and disappear.
I would like to observe it, please. Detect magic.
As would I.
Anyone else
Okay.
feel like their brain went through a blender?
Yes.
No.
You detect magic,
Yes.
and these rings, clearly meant for one for each of you, are giving off enchantment. Essence of enchantment.
I say we leave them.
Enchantment?
I was waiting for it.
Nothing from something like that can be good.
I mean, I feel like if it turned my brain to mush soup, I should at least get the reward.
Isa, you're already eating dust right now.
No, I'm not.
Do we need to make it worse?
I don't know what dust you're speaking of.
Can I detect if this is just regular type of enchantment or if it's something more sinister?
Do you have something like detect good and evil?
No, only protection from good and evil.
We at least let the pup figure out what it is. And you do that
Can
thing.
identify things without actually touching them. It is possible.
I will do that.
I would
Okay.
like it, but I am not
Okay,
certain.
just give me a few moments here. And I'll set up the ritual circle around them and do identify ritually.
You conduct your identify ritual, and each one of these rings seems to be the same as each other one of these rings. You identify them as something called an aurora ring. And the ring itself is jet black, but much like the figure that you saw, beneath that blackness, you see the occasional shifting of an array of chromatic colors. And while wearing this ring, you may use a reaction when receiving any form of healing to double the amount of hit points restored from that healing. But this reaction can only be used while you are not engaged in any form of combat. And you must take a long rest before you can use the ring in that way again. I will post that information in Discord for you guys. This is...
Sorry, go ahead.
your raccoon items from last session.
Oh.
But is it
I-
really a raccoon item if raccoon didn't give it to us?
Raccoon is now a
My
creature of
version
the void.
The raccoon item.
Raccoon goes where he pleases.
The one that gave you these items asked Raccoon to make them for you. Raccoon
Aw.
said his kobolds were busy, so he just gave the items to this weird void guy who dropped them off for you.
So with Yixis saying that information, feeling better about the enchantment, she will gladly grab the
Yixis
ring.
tells everybody that they are horribly, horribly cursed, and that it'd be better if he just held on to them for the time being.
Good.
I
idea.
want 3 on each hand.
Would do these require attunement?
They do not.
Even better.
I mean,
Putting
it's
that
you
on.
gotta ask the question.
Putting
Yes,
that
really
on.
do.
Good question to ask.
Definitely putting that on.
Yes.
Samesies.
Still creeped out by the creature of the void.
As you should be.
I almost burned the map. I had a hand placed over it just in case it was gonna like
Oh.
ease up point somebody. I was gonna use produce flame to burn it.
Oh, that
I
would've
would have
so
been
good.
so sad. She
Then
first
Sabir
lost
would've
a
pulled out-
shield, and then you're taking her map. Not
Sabir would have
okay.
pulled out her map, and she's like, "Oh, here, point it on my map."
And there goes another map in flames.
Now I'm just curious what the creature was, though.
I would like to tell you,
We don't
but-
need to treat everything hostily. Like, we could get along with some things that are not gnolls. I mean,
Just-
we even treat the gnolls hostile.
What is
Let's
this?
be fair, most of what we've encountered out here has been hostile.
What is this dragon door? It is looking for. I am very intrigued.
We ran into it a while ago.
It gave us stuff to make us not talk.
And apparently we failed with that. But it opened up and provided us items. It had 3 talking dragon heads on it. And once it was done with us, it vanished.
Interesting. We will have to seek it out again sometime.
I don't think there is seeking it out. I think you just happen upon it by chance.
The door finds you, from what we can tell.
Either way, I could be patient.
Honestly, the more and more we spend in this desert, the more and more I think we should get out of it.
Why
I
is
wouldn't
that?
recommend stepping through the void.
I wouldn't recommend setting foot in this desert. The whole place reeks of distant involvement. It's been tainted.
I think it's a treasure trove of knowledge. Many things have been lost and vanished here.
As they should stay buried.
More fun for me to uncover it.
Or it buries you.
Would be an ideal way to go.
I'll keep that in mind.
Shall we then?
Yes, we do have an obelisk to explore, don't we?
It is actually not far since we decided to seek rest just before it, so we are not far.
Yep, you guys are about an hour and a half away from it. It will require just 1 travel roll to get there.
Perfect.
I could potentially take the lead since it's on my map. Just kind of,
You do know where you're going.
I do.
If she's been there before, Zara has no.
Wait, is this the Sabira version of leading, where she follows behind and yells orders?
No, that was just for that one day
the
to cover
backseat
our tracks.
driving.
I mean, it
That was
proved
just
effective.
the one day to cover our tracks, so no, she's not backseat driving. She'll actually pull out her map. So for this situation, she'll actually use her cartography.
Okay.
Which I can never remember what it frickin' intelligence.
I believe it was intelligence, yes, with your proficiency bonus.
There it is. Okay. That's right. I did mark it this time. Cool. Sweet. That is 21.
And follow that up with a
Oh,
percentile.
right. Not bad. That is a 58.
21 and 58. I'm getting quite aggravated at this earbud. The little ear cushion thing is broken and it's annoying.
No.
So you have been in this area before, Subira. You are quite familiar with the path that you took previously, and it is proving to line up almost exactly with the path that you're on right now. So you expect the travel ahead to take about an hour and a half. It only takes you about an hour with the experience that you have going forward. And after that hour, you see the tip of this obelisk appearing just on the other side of a medium-sized dune. You figure you will be there in just a couple minutes. And all of you begin to see now what Subira has seen at least once in the past. This strange obelisk rising up out of the desert. If it were made of sandstone or granite or some other type of rock, it would be not quite so out of place, but this is polished, black. Not a speck of dust on it. It rises up out of the ground about 20 feet at its highest. Its base is a few feet on each side. And it's just not like anything else you've seen before. Not that some of you have really been out through the desert to explore, but those of you that have do not recognize this type of architecture at all. Approaching this obelisk, getting close to it, assuming you guys are walking right up to it.
No, Subira is.
This is the closest that you have seen it, Subira. When you passed through this area before, you were merely scouting and making note of its location so you could return at a later time. That later time is now. As you get up to this obelisk, you see that on one side of it, there is something that doesn't match the rest of it. Instead of this polished black obsidian-like material, there seems to be some sandstone embedded into it. And this sandstone makes up various tiles in a square pattern, with one tile missing. What you see doesn't really make any sense to you, the image on these tiles. At first glance, it seems all jumbled up and strange. And then it occurs to you that the missing tile wasn't just degraded over time and fell out. It was deliberately left out so that each one of the other tiles that make up this jumbled image can be moved using that empty space. What the image is, you don't know.
My God, I used to play those games all the time as a kid.
Sliding puzzles, they're so much fun.
Oh my God, I love them so much.
Please tell me you have some sort of interactive sliding puzzle for us to
Oh,
mess up
In-
on constantly.
can Subira
Oh my God, he
read
does.
anything? Like, does it look like a particular pattern, or if it's like words that need to be reshaped, or is it an actual like pictograph or something?
It looks to be a pictograph of some kind.
Oh my God, it's on here. Ooh!
Word.
See, this is the worst part about me playing intelligent characters, because I myself am not intelligent, so figure this shit out.
So you have all now approached the side of this obelisk, and the other three sides don't seem to have anything on them. They are just this polished black material. But this one side has this sliding puzzle on it.
I know what it is.
Sabira takes like a few seconds just to look at it, and then she looks back at the group.
I know what it is. I need help.
Given that most of our statues that we've run into have been hostile, Ethan's going to take out one of our daggers and just kind of tap it with the dagger first.
That's fair.
See if it reacts.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Zara will walk forward next to Sabira.
She's definitely touching it, like feeling the pictures and the patterns.
Is some sort of puzzle.
Indeed. These tiles, you see, you slide them around until they are in the proper slot.
And it makes a picture.
Indeed. And that picture may reveal something to us. Or open something. We'll find out.
I assume by the excitement in your voice we should get to it then.
Yes, we should.
How high up is this? Like, is this something we need to like have on each other's shoulders, or is it like reachable for us to kind of like get every single one?
Highest point of the puzzle is about 6 feet up, so a single person can reach it. Even the shortest among you can reach the uppermost tiles.
Oh, good. I'm 6 foot, so I'm like on my tippy toes going, all right, do this.
I know where 4 of these tiles are supposed to line up with each other, but that's about it right now.
Okay, so I know technically what it is. It's just a matter of like, do I need to move the tiles or?
You tell me, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
I already tried to move the tiles on the side, it wouldn't let me.
she's gonna go ahead and she's gonna she's gonna touch that top tile and just leave her hand on it for a moment, see if it does
Okay.
anything, and if it doesn't, try to slide it over if possible.
Okay. You touch the tile. Nothing seems to happen. You try to shift it over to the side, and it does not shift. It seems firmly secured in place.
Can I pop it out?
You cannot.
I'm gonna. Can I look around for something that may maybe act like some sort of control panel?
Sure. You can give me either an investigation or a perception, depending on how you're going about this.
Which one is my least worst skill? All right, we will do perception.
Ethan will continue to see if it's hostile.
That'll be oh no, it's disadvantage because it is it's an ability check, correct?
Yes.
Or is it a skill check? This is skill check.
Ability, skill, same difference.
Okay. That will be a 12.
12. Okay. You have a pretty good look around and on this obelisk, and there doesn't really seem to be anything there that stands out to you. It is smooth, polished on all sides, except for the one spot where this sliding puzzle seems to be. But as you're walking around the obelisk and observing it, looking at it, you notice something strange about the ground that you're walking on. It seems lumpier than it should.
Is there any like dust, or not dust but sand on the floor or on the ground around us?
There is there is sand that goes right up against the pillar, like the wind has blown it up against the pillar.
All right, I'm
and it has collected.
going to begin to like dust off part of the lumpy ground.
Okay, so you brush the sand to the side, and pretty quickly you find that beneath this lumpy area, you discover a skull. You brush a bit more away, there are more bones. And as you continue to brush the sand out of the way, you find more and more bones, skeletons of various types of what were at one point probably intelligent creatures that have done something that cost them their lives.
I'm gonna hurry back around to the other side where everyone is at. I highly suggest we don't do the puzzle.
Why?
I knew it. It's hostile.
It's not, I don't believe it's necessarily hostile, but I believe it's led to the death of numerous beings, judging from the small mass graveyard behind it.
Graveyard, you say? Where?
I'm gonna lead her around to where I've found the collection of skeletons.
And you see the bones there, Sabira. There doesn't really seem to be anything noteworthy on or about them. They are merely bones of creatures past. The desert, the weather, the insects, the creatures have long since stripped away their flesh and the clothing that was on them, and what remains is just bones.
Can I do like a medicine check to see like if there's any markings or anything on them to kind of determine what killed them?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I gotta move back. Medicine. Thankfully, I'm using skills that I am pretty good at. That is a 17.
17. Okay, you are, well, you're kind of proficient at digging up bones and determining things about them, and you rely on those skills here as you manage to dislodge what appears to be a rib cage of some kind from this collection of bones. And upon cleaning and dusting it off, you see something that appears to be a scorch mark of some kind right in the center of that rib cage.
Interesting. Well, I say we ask them.
I'll let you call them up. I tend to command them more than talk to them.
My thoughts exactly. Depending on what they say. I say you raise them up and allow them to help us rearrange things. As a precaution.
It will take me a day to do so. I did not think to have that spell prepared today.
Understandable. No one expects a graveyard. It's very exciting.
And I will go ahead and grab the most complete looking skull and cast Speak with Dead on it.
Right? You cast your spell on this skull, and you see the bones kind of chitter and creak. The jaw opens a little bit as you breathe some sort of sick, twisted facsimile of life into this creature. And you can ask it 5 questions.
What caused your death?
My death was caused by my inability to finish my task.
Was there a limit to complete the puzzle?
The limit was my life force.
Do you need to sacrifice your essence to move the tiles?
You must sacrifice, but you do not have to die.
Well, now. Is that 3? I lost
That was
count.
3. You have
3?
2 more.
Okay. So it has to be a living creature. I pretty much got my answers.
Were you here with anyone else when this happened?
Other travelers like myself.
Did you rotate sacrificing your essence little by little, or does it only require one?
I failed before more could be tested. And as it finishes that sentence, the jaw kind of creaks open to an unnatural gape, for the bones begin to turn to dust in your hands, be blown away on the gentle wind.
What little is left in her paws, she'll just like set it down and pat it with a smile on her face.
It may be best just to leave this.
But it's a discovery.
Indeed it is, but one we may not be equipped to handle.
I think we're young enough that we could do it.
I don't think age has anything to do with this.
We can grab those other Gnoll parties.
Let's not start sacrificing our own.
But it's for the sake of knowledge.
It is for the sake of knowledge, but let's just say we would have other repercussions on us if we were to start sacrificing those who share our. Now, if we could capture a couple Arcastans, that's different.
You know, we did just get these nifty rings that give us, you know, double the healing.
That is healing, not our life. I believe you sacrifice years.
It could be possible. It wasn't very specific as to what it meant by life force. Healing may work, or, as Sabira said, it could just age you.
Either way, to play it safe, I believe enough years and enough health. We are young and healthy.
There is something to be said about sacrificing your own health and force, but it's a fool's errand. What good is knowledge if you're never able to share it or revel in its discovery?
That's why I want to solve this puzzle. To gain its knowledge.
But if you don't and you die,
Well, I would find a way around it. I would not just do it just because I'm here now. I would like to do it now, but I'm going to sit here and determine how many moves before I can complete the picture.
you would also have to take into the fact of how much life it takes you per move.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, you would have to start off with a sacrifice of your life force anyway.
I am willing. But again, I would rather work it out before just doing it.
Maybe we
Though it's a
can't-
pity that we can't use the skeletons.
Indeed. I'd have no problem sacrificing them. We might as well, at least for curiosity's sake, determine how many moves it would take us to solve this puzzle. Who knows? Maybe some humans will happen by while that is going on, and then we can use them.
Who knows how long that will be, though? Could take quite a long time.
And there's that clock tower as well. Across it.
Indeed.
Didn't you say that clock tower held a library? Or am I misremembering?
That clock. Hold on, let me look at my notes. We predicted there could potentially be a library. But from what I understand, it is a ruin. And there are creatures that are attracted to it.
Possible knowledge.
But that's why it is on my to-do list. It will sadden me if we leave, but now that I know this is here, I would very much like to map this out on my downtime, and if we or I make our way back up here, if you don't, I certainly intend to, I can solve the puzzle.
The puzzle does hold a bit of curiosity to it. And something to have caused so much death. May be
Exciting.
useful.
And I think our chances of solving it are quite high now that we know potentially what can cause it if we fail. It must hold such secrets inside. It's very titillating.
If she's gonna come back up here and try it anyway, might as well let her try. Spend a day letting her try and figure out and see if she can. There's no stopping her, it sounds like.
I am one for sitting around for days to study, but I understand that you are not the types to sit around. However, if you'd like to move in a different direction, I know that Blacksmith said he will find us, so we don't necessarily have to stay here. But give me time to draw it.
Why not, instead of drawing it, get a rubbing?
How big is this?
The entire puzzle is about 2 feet by 2 feet.
Oh, so it's pretty small.
Yeah, it's not like massive.
Oh. Okay,
It-
perfect. So that
It's sized so that an average person would be able to move the tiles around on their own.
Oh, okay. So it's not like this big, huge wall of it. Okay. Well, now that I know the size, I do have some bigger than normal parchment paper. I usually use it for my maps. I'm going to go ahead and pull out one of those and do a rubbing because I thought it was this huge thing. So now that I know that it's small enough, I'm definitely going to do the rubbing. And so I'm going to get my charcoal out and start doing a rubbing on it.
Okay, so you're pressing the parchment up against it and rubbing the charcoal across to get an imprint there.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the time to kind of do that.
Okay, so as soon as you press the parchment up against it and begin to get the charcoal rubbing, the parchment catches fire where it makes contact with this puzzle. And the parchment burns up.
Of course, it would have something in that
Well, that's
sense.
rude.
I will try drawing it.
Okay? You begin to try and draw out each tile, and you find that as soon as the ink leaves your quill and gets absorbed into the paper, it vanishes just as quickly.
Yixis, you didn't lend her that strange quill, did you?
No.
Huh.
All right, I would like to sit there and start memorizing it.
Your
Okay.
brain bursts in flames.
Give me an intelligence save.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Okay. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay. You sit there and study one of these tiles for a good few minutes and are fairly confident that you've committed it at least to your short-term memory. And then as soon as you move on to the second tile, you can't remember anything about that first tile.
Clever. Damn it, Fox.
Think you were gonna get off that easy?
Well-
Not a chance.
You thought you were gonna use logic?
Trust me, I've thought about all the things that I would do as a player and put contingencies in place for that.
Rude.
There's a contingency against setting the obelisk on fire, because that's what Kia would do.
Hmm.
If I throw detect magic up, can I see if it's some sort of spell or something else that's perhaps preventing me from doing this on the obelisk itself?
Sure can. Just double check my notes here. Yeah, so you put up detect magic and you see a shroud of a couple different schools of magic kind of emanating from this pillar. You detect transmutation. You detect divination. And you detect evocation.
Which she figured with the burning ribs.
What a sneaky little obelisk. It appears that it's not allowing me to memorize it or even sketch it. Its magics are preventing me. So it seems like once we start, we cannot stop without thinking ahead.
It's almost as if it's designed for us to fail.
I like a challenge. But again, it is something we can come back to. It will pain me to leave, but I am not one to just, again, do it all willy-nilly. I can always come back and study it.
What if it's just a means to kill people? It doesn't necessarily have, sir. And even those who solve the puzzle are just dead.
Seems like a lot of work when they could have just easily set perhaps some sort of enchantment on it to where every time you touch it, you just explode.
Yes, but that would give off too many warnings. Now, a puzzle who uses it life force, that inspires curiosity.
She points over at the bone graveyard.
I think that either way,
That's what curiosity
that's
gets
a
you.
warning. Perhaps none of them could speak to the dead to know what happened.
Explosions tend to warn you to stay away. That just piqued your curiosity more. And talking to the dead thing made you want to press it more. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's also old. That's intriguing in itself.
Can I actually use I know technically it says a ruin or dungeon, but could I use my historic knowledge ability to determine
like what its builders were as far as like the race and determine its like how old it is?
Could you put that into chat for me?
Yes. Let me go ahead and copy and paste this. Oh no, why'd I hit paste? No! Said copy.
No.
That's the wrong thing. There we go. So it's part of my background.
Give me a history roll.
With advantage?
Give me a history roll.
Okay.
You do have good history, so
I do, and I rolled fairly decent. So 23.
23.
Mhm.
Okay. Looking at this pillar, the material that it's made out of, and the way that it seems to be put together, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you've seen a lot. You've seen the stonework of ancient ruins buried deep within the desert. You've even seen the black polished stone that the Colosseum Underground is made out of. Some of the earliest examples of civilization within this part of the world. Nothing about this pillar says to you that it was constructed in those time periods. Nothing about this pillar says that it is new by any means. The age of the bones around it, and that they seem to be turning to dust, some of them, at the slightest disturbance, tells you that this pillar, or at least this area, whatever magics or constructions went on here, predates even the most ancient of knowledge about this part of the world.
Oh, she's so excited. Okay. Follow-up question. Because of how old it is, that it can't even be determined exactly when, could she make the assumption that maybe this was created by a god or demon?
It is
Potentially?
an assumption that you could reach. I mean, nobody really knows who or what lived in that time period. There's just no knowledge of it. So it could have been some ancient civilization, or this could have been the creation of some kind of deity or godlike being.
Oh, she's so excited, but there's not much she can do right now. Okay, and like usual, she's writing down this information in her journal, not wanting it to catch on fire or the ink to vanish. She's not doing the picture, but she is making notes.
Yeah, as you write about the pillar, that seems to stay within your book.
Oh yes,
It's just trying to record the puzzle itself that could be catastrophic.
Okay. Okay, so she's gonna go ahead and complete that information. And she'll go ahead and she's sitting in front of it just as she's writing, and then when she's done, she'll look over her shoulder at everyone. What would you like to do?
Well, I would, if we're not going to try and solve the puzzle now, would assume that it would be best to go to that clock tower.
Alas, it's true. But I would like to make notes of this. I have So we can go if we'd like. This will take multiple hours and days for me to want to spend more time with this, so we can head further south, as long as we don't head further west.
Yes, let's stay away from the pit.
It is very uncomfortable and unsettling to be near it. It is where it got the name the Maw, after all. Good things cannot come from it. And it is the one thing that I am okay not to discover, unless I can learn more from afar.
So on to the clock tower.
Indeed.
It's full of glitter and rainbows.
Oh, I want it even more.
Everyone
There's
gets
gotta be a unicorn inside.
yeah, everyone gets a free unicorn if you solve it.
Yes.
So, there is still about 6 decent traveling hours left in the day. If you guys want to leave this area, it is entirely up to you. It seems like that is the consensus so far.
Yes,
Me
Yeah.
personally,
Go ahead.
to me personally, I'm very sad about it. Isa thinks this is boring. Fuck.
Yep.
There's nothing to stab. I'm bored.
Yeah. Sabira will kind of hang out into the back if the group decides to walk and just kind of read over her notes and whatnot.
Are Yixis and Xerax on board with departing?
I would rather not die just willy-nilly. We can always come back. It's not like someone's gonna walk off with the obelisk.
Right.
I mean, you don't know.
I mean,
Suddenly, Fey Lady comes and takes the obelisk. Just to fight you.
bitches and hoes.
All right,
Nope.
so who's am I taking point again?
I don't know.
You
Who's
want
taking
to?
the lead here?
I mean, sure. I mean, if nobody else wants to do it, I guess leader will do it.
Okay. So as you guys begin to depart the area, you all feel a rumbling in the ground. You stop and you turn around, feeling like the source is behind you, and you see the obelisk, the puzzle that is crafted into the side of it, seems to recede deeper within the obelisk itself, and a large slate, the same in appearance to the rest of the obelisk, slides down over the hole where the puzzle once sat, as though it is being sealed up. It takes a few seconds for this slate to come down and fill that gap, and as soon as it does, the seam where you would see the edges of this slate seem to merge with the rest of the obelisk itself. So it is just one solid object. And then the obelisk begins to recede deep into the sand. It takes about a minute before the very tip of it is hidden in the sands of the desert.
Interesting.
Subira's gonna walk back to it.
You walk back to the area and you see a slight indentation where the obelisk once stood. You see the lumpy skeleton sand around that indentation. No sign of the obelisk itself.
Okay, dig down a little and see if I can find the tip of the obelisk.
Okay. You dig down and you just find more sand.
I don't think it liked the rejection.
Curious. I wonder what activates it. Now I'm even more intrigued.
She writes this down in her journal.
Your detect magic is probably still up. It lasts for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You don't detect any magic in the area anymore.
Does it move?
Balls.
Okay.
She'll
Wow.
make a note of this and start walking back.
Ethan's gonna pull out her map and just mark a little X over the obelisk.
Okay.
Yeah, roll it back
This
up.
is where we're gonna come back.
So,
Don't let there be sandstorms.
before we get to Zara's traveling roll, I think we're going to go ahead and take our second break of the evening. We do still have about an hour left in the show, so do come back if you get up to stretch your legs or refresh your drinks or do whatever it is you do on our breaks. I don't really want to know the details unless you want to DM them to me. So we will be right back.
And we are back.
Just in case you guys do decide to sit around until it appears again.
I know she is.
So
Don't give us that hope.
I can't leave my
One
cat in the room.
year later.
I cannot leave the cat alone in my room now when we go on breaks.
Why?
She got into the dice and was
Dice goblin
throwing the D12s onto the floor. And when I walked back in, she had a D12 in her mouth and she just looked at me.
You can't decide to screw these dice. These
so
ones, you don't
it's
need these
like-
ones.
These dice are too small and she will eat them.
Yep.
Or she'll just throw them all over the place like she was doing.
Hey, at least it wasn't a landmine of D4s.
Oh no, she for some reason, it's only the D12s.
Probably because they're the right size and they've got enough sides that she can get a hold of them.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like tiny little balls.
Yep. D20s are too smooth, whereas a D12 has enough sides to pick it up.
Yep.
So, speaking of dice, I'm going to need a couple rolls from the party leader here. Zara, which of your trustworthy skills are you relying on to take your friends and family into the southern desert? I assume you guys are heading south.
Right. Trustworthy.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
which set of dice is going to bring us a dragon?
Let's go survival.
Survival, okay.
At disadvantage, it's a natural 20. That is going to be a 23.
23, okay.
I'm
Nice.
sad that I lost that natural 20.
Could have been something good.
Now, do I have to roll 2 sets of numbers and for the percentiles and give you the lowest one?
You shouldn't have asked.
I mean, I know
I
what
mean,
I would do because
technically it's
I'm
a
evil.
I don't feel like we were
That's not
doing
the
that
skill
before.
check. That's the percentile to the skill check. So technically, no.
Technically, yes.
Hmm.
Because you would roll the skill check at the same time as the percentile. So one of the two die you're rolling with disadvantage has a percentile tied to it, and so does the other one. So
This is
technically,
true.
at disadvantage or advantage, it would be 2 d20s and 2 percentiles.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and roll 2 percentiles and give me the lowest.
So, I didn't think I could roll lower than a 20, and then I got an 18.
18. 23 and 18, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're very proficient at finding the trouble.
We
to make
are
sure
the
your
trouble.
character sheets are updated after your long rest. So I prepare some things here.
Swear to God, my shit goes missing. What little I have.
I've taken some things from you guys' inventories and you haven't noticed yet, and I'm just waiting every session for somebody to go to grab a thing that I've taken and it's not there, and you're like, what the hell
Memorize
happened to
it.
the thing?
Yeah, I
For
felt
me,
like I was
having-
missing stuff off the list that I couldn't pinpoint what it was, and I
it
assumed it was
hap-
my own memory.
It hasn't happened in a while, but it has happened, and you guys haven't found the things that have gone missing yet.
I don't remember I have them.
Stealth, the stealth honkening.
That's what makes it fun. So, you guys begin to head southward through the desert, relying on your one-armed friend, Zara, to lead you onwards. And it goes pretty smoothly at first. The skies are clear. There's maybe a few clouds in the sky, but no real weather that's going to impede you in any way. There's a breeze, but it's not a strong breeze. It's actually quite nice, that slightly chilled air rustling through your fur. It's a very hot day today. And you travel onwards for about an hour. And suddenly, from location that you can't quite determine when you hear it, you hear a voice call out. seems to be calling out towards you guys. And it says, "Halt. Go no further."
My God, what?
Fuck with that
Where-
monster.
Where around us is it coming from?
You can give me a perception check to try and determine that.
That'll be a
Like-
10.
Okay,
10?
can I do so too? So I'd be looking around hearing a voice.
If it calls out again, the rest of you can do perceptions. But on this first one, your leader, Zara, is unable to determine exactly where the voice is coming from.
And whoso commands our halt?
Adventurers.
It's a very vague term, if you ask me.
We're here to cleanse the land of evil.
Again, very vague. You're trying to
As I said, Gnoll, go no further, and we will not have an altercation.
an altercation.
That is what I said.
You're here to cleanse the land of evil.
That is right.
Well, you're definitely in the right spot for that. There is much evil to be had in this desert. So if you're looking for evil, she's gonna point over to the maw. Probably best start with an area to, we're facing south. Was that west?
Yes.
An area due west. There's a high concentration of evil that direction.
What is the cause of this evil?
We don't go near it, that's for sure. From a young age, we are told to keep away from this maw.
Well, we appreciate the information, Gnoll. And you can kind of hear some mumbling. And at this point, everyone else can do perception checks if you want to try and determine the direction.
16.
That would be a nat 20 for a total of 26.
Of course.
Now, adventurers, there's no reason to hide. We mean you no harm. We ourselves are simply traveling through the desert.
I'd also like to insight check the voice.
What did I say, Zara?
You already know what Zara's planning.
Anyone that rolled higher than an 18 on their perception, you can figure out that this voice is definitely coming from somewhere in front of you. Hard to tell the distance and exact location, but somewhere in front of you.
I rolled a nat 1. I don't see shit.
Nope.
And you can go ahead and give me that insight, Xerax.
Cite the voice. Wow, my dice love this. That will be a 19 on the die for a total of 22.
Okay. The voice seems truthful in what it's saying. It wavers slightly, probably from nervousness. The tone of this voice does not sound like the tone you're used to hearing from any natives of the desert. So, likely an outsider, possibly their first time in the desert.
Please, show yourselves. Again, there's no reason to hide.
We've heard stories of your kind. We are quite safe hidden as we are.
You're not going to do much adventuring hiding from us,
Huh? What? What's going on?
much less cleansing any evil.
Indeed. Bunch of...
We are in a place of advantage at the moment. We will not give that up.
Are you? Are you, though? Are you really?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Is he asking if we're sure? Yes, we're sure.
We,
Love it.
are you so sure that you have an advantage over creatures who call this unforgiving hellscape home? We mean you no harm. In fact, maybe I can assist you. I am a druid.
Or you could be deceiving us.
Have you ever heard in your tales our kind using deception and not just blood frenzies and rampaging?
You know,
Well-
I'm sure there's some of us that would take offense to that.
Anything is possible. We have seen some very strange things out in this desert.
Please.
Now, if you would kindly just turn around and go back the way you came, as I said, there will be no altercation.
You see, that's going to be impossible, brave adventurers. We have a destination southbound that we need to get to. Turning around would be counterproductive.
And what, may I ask, is south from here?
South from here.
What is your destination, Gnoll?
If we're going to be talking, let's not keep calling each other Gnoll and Hidden Adventure. I am Zara. We seek a clock tower in the south.
A clock tower, you say?
We are explorers.
We are unaware of any settlements south from here that would have the capacity to build a clock tower.
It is not a settlement.
You wouldn't understand.
It's a ruin. As I said, we are explorers with our own... I've lost all my words. With our own needs, our own locations that we need to get to. I understand your concern, but if you allow us the pass, there is no reason we need to come to any sort of altercation.
And what guarantee do we have that you will not simply attack us once we drop our invisibility, our point of hiding?
As I look back to everyone, oh, they're invisible.
I guarantee that we're not going to attack them anyway.
I'm going to shame myself for doing this.
Ah, yes, the brave, invisible vanquishers of evil.
Have you not seen how anyone hunts? We could easily go north and then circle around and come up behind you guys. There's
Isa,
really no
that's
point.
not helping.
Zerex, where do you hear the voices coming from?
Point straight at where they are.
Oh, this is gonna be humiliating.
She's gonna she's gonna get in front of Zerex, and she's gonna turn her back to where she thinks the invisible people are. And she's gonna start digging like a dog and shoot a bunch of sand over in that direction.
Bucket sand.
Okay.
It's
As
inventive.
fast and far as she can range.
Give me a strength or an acrobatics or athletics roll to see if you can throw the sand far enough.
That's pretty decent. Ooh, okay. It's an 18.
19. Okay. So you begin to doggy paddle into the sand, throwing the sand in the direction of these voices or this voice. And it takes a moment and you hear the voice kind of mumbling to someone and asking what's happening. And then you hear the sand kind of thump up against what sounds like metal. And then the voice calls out, oh, get filthy, get it off of me. and you see the sand hit an object and then quickly be brushed off of it about 20 feet directly ahead of you guys.
There they are. I feel dirty doing that.
Now, can we drop this whole facade? There is no need to continue on with this. We are not going to attack you.
Give me a persuasion roll.
I mean, I'm not. I'm just going to let the Ma take care of it.
Advantage because I helped reveal them.
We'll see where this goes.
Okay.
A persuasion will be... Where is persuasion? That'll be a 9.
9. Okay. What's your persuasion modifier?
-1.
Well, that's no help. This guy's modifier is -1 as well.
Hey,
Okay,
we
let's
both
re-roll.
suck. Okay.
We both got 9 with -1 modifiers.
Okay.
Uh,
That's a 9. It's at disadvantage for me, so.
Oh, that's right. Okay. You do make a good argument, Gnoll,
Zara.
but I'm afraid we just cannot trust you after the stories we've heard.
The stories you've heard say anything about us talking to you before we attack you, or do they just normally attack?
Mostly just attack.
So why would you believe all these stories to be true when we're standing here talking to you?
Point of order. We're all still invisible. We could just go and you just stay invisible and nothing happens.
Pup's got a point.
But now that you know we're here, how do we know you will not just, as you put it, double back after going around?
Because we're
Come
going that
after
way.
us.
I guess you would just have to leave that to faith. And if you go towards the evil I told you about, we're not going to follow you. As you said, we've been taught at a young age to stay away from that.
You also said you heard stories about we just attack. Clearly, those aren't true if we're just standing here having a conversation. Never believe stories unless you have all the facts.
Not to mention that invisibility won't necessarily help you if an altercation does start.
There's also many things out here that could possibly even see you while you're like that.
By the way, have you come across any beetles that are attracted to magic? That invisibility would definitely attract them, and they tend to eat those of a magical persuasion.
Give me another persuasion, this time at advantage.
So normal.
Normal, yeah, straight.
Damn it.
That will be a 10.
10. Okay, re-roll.
I'm actually being nice here, but
You and this guy keep rolling the same numbers.
That
with the
would
same
be-
modifiers.
a 0.
Oh,
Ah,
Surely you're joking with us, Gnoll. Beetles that are attracted to magic. It's preposterous.
No,
hey, have fun.
they kind of scare me actually.
I don't know why they're so worried about us killing them. They're gonna get themselves killed.
Simpletons.
Yeah, the dragons, the Shishuva.
The
worms,
random
The
wandering
beetles.
fae that like to eat people.
the
Don't forget about the undead.
the oasis. Yeah, the hordes of the undead that wander around here. The automatons.
Another point of order. Your invisibility will only last so long, and you're drawing this out.
He does make a good point, doesn't he?
How long does invisibility last, little one?
I think an hour normally.
Like You see, if I sit here for an hour, they'll eventually reappear.
Yeah, but
Don't-
you really
don't-
should
don't
just
do
keep
that.
going.
But now I'm curious.
We have come to an agreement that the small one of your group is correct. You should continue on your way and forget that we ever met.
Well,
Hey,
we can't forget we
really?
met you
Starts
if you
sitting
we don't
down
know
in the
who you
sand
are.
like she's going to wait.
I really wish that I could forget it faster.
Oh, and
So-
just a forewarning. You is on a ramp right now, so best of luck not running into any of his followers.
Isn't he in a war with that other demon lord around here right now?
Awesome.
Only two of them.
Zuckmoy, yes, they're in a tug of war at the moment.
I
Mhm.
think we should leave this desert.
Probably for the best.
Ethan's gonna pull out a drumstick of the ostrich that she has left and start munching on it. Still trying to hide the fact that it's turning ash in her mouth.
Yeah, your mouth is just filling with more and more ash as
Yeah.
you munch on it.
Our ostrich died for naught.
Well, we as I said have come to an agreement that it would be best if you continue on your way, Knowles. Go about your business. We will let you go.
Can I sniff the air and see if I can maybe determine what they might be?
Sure, give me a perception check, I believe at advantage because of your senses.
Oh, that's a natural 19. This is a perception.
Yeah.
It's 21.
21.
Is it Knowles? Do Knowles get? Is it hearing or smell?
I think it's both.
It's both.
You get advantage on that.
Yeah, I did.
Hearing and smell.
Okay.
So you pick up on one scent, but coming from more than one spot. In front of you is the scent, very faint scent of, well, actually, I don't know if you've ever smelled this before. I don't know if you know what it is. It smells like trees of some kind. And
Okay.
that scent is coming from in front of you and also diagonally behind you.
Just
Hmm.
a quick question for you. Where are you from? That you would wander into the desert without prior knowledge.
How do we know you will not invade our home should we tell you that?
Are you from Arcastus?
No,
Then we
We are
have no
not.
problem with you.
we are from somewhere near Arcastus. Is that a problem?
Were you involved in the war with Arcastus?
No, of course not.
Are you trying to flank us?
Wait, they're flanking us?
No, we are not. We're not doing that.
I think they're just being cautious. Stupidly, but
I mean, the funny thing is, they may be invisible, but their footprints won't be.
We're not leaving footprints. Don't look for footprints.
Yes, you are. They're right there.
Well, maybe if you stop moving.
Stop moving. We're not moving.
I feel like he's just talking to himself at this point.
Now, you're near Arcastus. How near?
Or we should just
Far
keep
enough
going.
for it to not be a problem?
That's a matter of opinion.
Indeed. I mean,
Would I know of any places just from being a cartographer? Would I know from a map like what towns would be close to Arcastus?
Yeah, you've probably seen a map or two. Your Matriarch has been bringing in a lot more maps and information of the world around you since since her takeover. So you've probably seen a couple. I'm just talking to try and buy myself some time as I find where I saved the map of the world.
That's fair.
I do that all the time.
There it is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know of Delure, the town in the Golden Peaks to the east. You know of Arcastus, which is kind of southeast from where you are, and the Gates of Arcanum, which is technically a part of Arcastus. And there are also several large islands just off the coast near Arcastus that have some towns and cities.
Okay, so if they smell like trees, definitely would be either off the island or maybe something more north, potentially.
Are there any rocks on the ground? Small pebbles.
Yeah, you could probably find a few.
You are one step ahead of me.
I'm more start tossing small pebbles towards him. I'm not trying to inflict any damage or hit him directly, just enough to start spooking him into doing something, anything, because this is getting boring.
Yeah, I was gonna say because with the sand, I was able to determine like how tall these creatures are.
You can't determine height, but as Iza begins to throw pebbles over there, you do see tracks in the sand shuffling around like he's avoiding being hit by them.
Well,
Look,
now
it's
you're
really
just
easy to
making
spot
more
you.
tracks.
That invisibility isn't really working. We already know you're here. There's no
Okay.
means to have it.
Now I
up
want to
still.
actually try and intentionally hit the whatever we saw when she was throwing sand with the pebble just to prove a point.
We can smell you.
He's surprisingly dexterous and continues to avoid them, but it's very obvious he's trying to avoid them.
Look.
Just stop that. Stop that now.
Adventurers, whatever. The invisibility is going to do you. We can smell you, we can sense you. You might as well drop it. As I said, we're not going to harm you. We have no means, we have no reason to harm you. We are two adventuring groups passing by on a road.
Although, for future reference, if you see another Gnoll pack, maybe you should just avoid them entirely and not engage them whatsoever.
Pup, you're not helping.
Because they'll figure this out.
Will they though?
So
Yeah,
he's going
probably.
to roll insight on you, Zara. See if you're telling the truth. I assume you're telling the truth, unless
Yeah.
you guys do secretly want to attack him. So you can roll either persuasion or deception.
She's being truthful. She has no reason to attack them.
He rolled pretty high on his insight, so chances are if you're trying to persuade him of the truth, then he will figure it out.
You need me to roll or?
Yep, you can give me the persuasion.
All right, so that's a persuasion of 1 because I'm still
Okay.
at disadvantage. Pissed off that the other dice was in that 20, so I would have gotten
Okay.
the 19.
So you hear a heavy sigh come from the direction of this voice, and the cloak of invisibility that he is shrouded in dissipates, and standing before you is a male human, it looks like, clad in very polished iron and gold armor.
Oh, that's gonna get you
There.
in trouble.
There is a symbol on the front of his armor that looks to be in the shape of a flowing waterfall, almost. And he is carrying at his hip what appears to be a longsword.
How are you not melting? That's
I took precautions.
you're intelligent enough to
something.
do so.
He's
Now
still
you-
throwing rocks.
Do stop that, would you? We can see each other now. There are no more secrets. So
She gets bored easily.
She really does.
I see.
You got any fun stories? If you found anything cool? Pretty sure that one wants to know if you found anything cool.
I don't recognize, and she kind of points to the waterfall on his chest. That one's new.
Well, quite old actually.
Well, new to us anyway.
Ah, I see. I see. So you are not familiar then with the teachings of Eldath.
I
Look that up in my memory banks.
to be completely honest, I have no idea who this Eldot is.
Religion check.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
can I check?
Yeah, anyone that wants to roll a
Oh.
religion check can do so.
I could possibly make a religion check because I'm a druid.
Are a druid, and religion is a thing that you
25?
know at least some of.
Okay, that's not bad. I got a 19.
21.
Okay. So the symbol, Zara and Sabira, the symbol is not overly familiar to you, but the name does ring some bells. Not great bells. This is a goddess that is not observed in any way, shape, or form by Gnolls, because this is a goddess that is, for all intents and purposes, a pacifist. Gnolls, not known for their pacifism. She is also known as the Green Goddess and the Mother Guardian of Groves. And that does ring some bells in your head, Zara. You may not have, excuse me, you may not have direct knowledge of this goddess, but the druidic part of you has a connection to her, because she is known for giving druids their power and protecting druids throughout the world.
So instead of saying I have no idea who that is, I have sort of an inclination on who that is.
Yeah, you kind of know. You have surface knowledge of the goddess.
Interesting. Why somebody with arms and armor would worship a pacifist.
Well, one does need to defend themselves.
Indeed. So what really brings you?
As I said, we are here to help cleanse the world of evils. We do not necessarily seek combat and violence. Cleansing can be done by other means.
Are you
No.
going to talk everybody into submission?
In that case, do not head west.
What exactly is out west, this great evil of yours?
It's a giant hole in the ground.
There's dragons there.
Dragons, if you're lucky.
I see.
But all who go there meet their death. It's best to be.
Well, I do appreciate the warning, Knowles. If
Please.
you do not intend me any harm, then I suppose we can go our separate ways.
Also, the whole addressing things as holes and sticking to rumors. Good way to offend some of the more older of our species. Present
I
them
see.
more with a respectful tone if you come across them.
I apologize. I was not aware your kind were capable of offense. I will be more mindful in the future.
Like I said,
I-
don't believe everything you read.
I have to ask, when was the last time the person who taught you about gnolls ever encountered one? We've gone through some changes recently.
Well, to be honest, we thought your kind went extinct.
That's fair.
I don't blame you.
No, we are not extinct. The new generation of us is less bloodthirsty and rampaging as are.
Some of.
This is true. Some of us still try to hold on to the old ways.
Which is unfortunate.
You might want to steer clear of the hunting pack.
That was.
Oh yeah.
Those were the ones I was telling you about to address respectfully. Come
Well,
across.
they may not be around much longer. Who knows?
You
I see.
might want to stay away from the harpies as well.
Oh yes, do not go near the harpies.
No.
Now that is something we are quite familiar with.
Oh, and if you come across a gold dragon, stab it in the eye for me.
I will try to refrain from doing so.
And slaughter every one of its young, and tell them that the pup sent you.
No,
Wait,
I
what?
don't think I will.
I feel like that needs an explanation, Zara. You can't just ask them to do that without telling them why.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I owe the hit for this, and she kind of taps the missing arm. Let's just say I just want all sorts of misery brought upon its life.
We did make it pretty miserable when it tried to eat us.
Oh no, I don't want it. I just want it to see everything that it loves and holds dear.
That's unsettling.
I don't suppose there's any way I could convince you to lead a more pacifist lifestyle.
You're going to try to talk everything into submission, aren't you?
But tell you what, you travel with us for a few days and you can try.
There is something due to my birth that's not possible. I hold grudges. And I don't
I
forgive
see.
them. But I understand your ways. And I will not try
Do
to
you?
force you to do
You?
anything you're uncomfortable with.
Well, I will be honest, I am a little bit uncomfortable with the current situation. So perhaps, if you want to go on your way, I will not impede you. I will try not to act on this aggression towards dragons that you seem to have.
Oh, it's not dragons. It's just one dragon in particular.
Okay, this very personal grudge against a very specific dragon that you seem to have. Perhaps if we come across each other again in the future, we can discuss the teachings of Eldath in a less tense surrounding.
Would honestly welcome that. Teachings
Sorry,
of
what-
other druidic influences may be worthwhile.
Right, so
We should
off you
probably
go then.
She kind of just nods to the rest of the group and begins walking again.
Everyone else follows, I assume.
When we go to pass by the guy, I'll stop. And I'll very slowly, I'm not going to make any sudden movements, but I'm going to slowly reach into my bag and pull out some of the food that I stored from the ostrich and be like, you want some food?
No,
Look,
I'm all right, thank
I'll
you.
take a piece of it and eat it and then offer him the rest.
I'm quite all right, thank you.
Here's us.
Spear goes up to them and goes, "We are the gnolls that say me."
So, as you all pass by Xerax, you do notice once you get quite close to this fellow that he seems to have a peculiar, faintly glowing tattoo of a feather on the side of his neck. But other than that, nothing really noteworthy at a glance.
I pause for a moment. What's with the glowing?
It is a mark that adventurers of my village can obtain at their request. Magical.
What does it do?
Well, that depends on the adventurer.
It's a rather non-specific answer.
I could show you, but I can only really do it once a day, and, well, if the desert is as dangerous as you say, I fear I may need to hold on to this particular ability.
What is
Well,
it?
The ability?
Yes.
It gives me the opportunity for escape, let's say.
So
How
it
do you do-
allows you to run away.
Fly away, but yes.
How does one learn this type of magic?
Oh, it is not a magic that is learned. It is a magic that is embedded within you. It is a tattoo, after all.
She gets really close to him, uncomfortably close.
Awkward.
Can you teach this?
No, I cannot. As
How
I
come?
said, it is a mark that is given to adventurers of my village.
Where is your village?
It is on the other side of Arcastus.
You've said that before, but where
Yes.
specifically? I wish to learn someday. Perhaps even acquire one.
Perhaps a trade. You give us the location of your home, and we will give you the location of ours.
You don't want to meet the matriarch.
I don't think I do, no.
Then why do you want to know the location if that's the case?
Well, it seems only fitting. If you know our home, we know yours.
Just don't go. Where are we on the map? That is a
Maybe
very
he
good
wants
question.
to know so he can avoid it.
I'm actually not worried if he does know the location. It is full of gnolls after all. And most of them are
would
very
have
old.
you for lunch.
A lot of them are very old in the ways of thinking, so I'm confident they won't go there. It's called Dagger Tree.
And where is it located?
North of here.
North of here. I suppose that will suffice. We are from a town called Cliffside. It is east of Arcastus, on the Shattered Coast.
Where the frick is that?
East of
Yes.
Arcastus, on the Shattered Coast.
Isa's gonna pause and she remembers something. She's gonna dig in her bag, and she's gonna pull out the sending stone that she has that's attached to Zara. Zara has the other one, and she's gonna go back and she's gonna hold it out for him.
What
It's
a
a stone.
pretty stone you're...
No, it's a
Sure.
magic stone. It allows you to. You'll be able
Oh,
to
I
talk
see.
to Zara. You can have that conversation with her and maybe convince her whenever you want.
Who is Zara?
It's like that one, no arm,
Ah, I see.
leader, our leader.
I am not the leader.
Well, I suppose this could come in handy if we run into any more of your kind. You could vouch for us, as they say.
Oh yeah, that's gonna.
Good luck.
That will not end well.
I don't recommend trying that.
If you think about it, we are trying to change our ways, and with our matriarch, it is possible we can create new alliances. It's not a bad idea. For the future, anyway.
Well,
If you ever end up near one of our settlements, definitely. We can at least keep them from maybe eating you on sight.
just try not to get yourself killed.
I do try my best every day. I suppose I will take this gracious gift of yours. I cannot leave you empty-handed, however. Take this, and pulls a little metal trinket from his pocket and drops it into your hand. It looks like a medallion with his holy symbol on it, the symbol of Eldath.
You want it, Zara, or should I hold on to it?
You can hold on to it.
She'll tie it to her belt loop or somewhere along her belt.
Right, so until next time, do have a good day.
You too.
Take care.
What an awkward group they were. Wanders off with two sets of footprints still invisible on either side of him, and he seems to be heading to the north.
He's gonna get himself killed.
They're terrible.
Almost
Possible.
definitely.
He is a really stupid paladin, so they
Awful
don't usually
stupid.
last very long.
Yes, my favorite type.
But I'm still really hoping he annoys Zara every night in the meantime.
Not only a stupid paladin, but a stupid paladin who doesn't want to fight the things that he's trying to cleanse.
Yep.
Yep.
Who's a pacifist?
What's he going to do? Bore them
This
to
will not
death?
end well.
I mean, he might be a
And-
pacifist, that doesn't mean his companions are.
Wait. He said his persuasion's -1.
Yeah.
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 Which means he has
Oh.
a trash charisma score.
Yeah, he does.
I've got
That's
an
not
8.
good for a paladin.
I've got an 8 charisma score.
Mine is 7.
This ain't looking good for him.
Yeah, 7.
Actually,
would've
we
been
assume
a-
he's a paladin. He could be a cleric, actually. Now that I think
So-
about it.
You guys do continue on southward for a bit,
Yep.
about an hour after this encounter. There's about 4 hours travel time left in the day, should you choose to take it.
Yep.
Who
Zara
is
will
taking the lead?
Zara will continue on.
Okay. Make those rolls.
Let's do survival again.
We're looking for the clock tower, right?
That's
Yeah, it's pretty far south.
okay. I think by rolling a double 1 on disadvantage just means God hates you. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Oh.
Okay. And how about that percentile?
That's a 7.
That
We're
hurts.
dead. I already
Okay.
have a backup character. Let's do this.
I think most of us have a backup character at this point.
Nope.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Well, it was fun trying out Warlock while it lasted.
Nothing's stopping from making another warlock.
Wait, you're a warlock?
Yeah?
I have not once seen you cast Eldritch Blast.
So,
Yeah.
I don't
That's
believe
all
it.
warlocks can do.
I don't believe it. That's the only spell warlocks know.
I don't solely rely on it, okay?
I'm
So-
confused.
You guys begin to head south. Continue on your path south, rather. And it's a little surprising, but those little clouds that dotted the sky earlier have very quickly turned into dark gray storm clouds. And it is not just a few moments after that you notice those clouds forming the sky that rain begins to pour down on top of you in this desert. Hot summer rain, matting your fur, steaming almost in its heat. It is grotesque.
Do
It's
you
just
guys
rain.
think I should put
but
up
it's
the hut?
grotesque.
Yes,
be wise.
please. Before we die from this.
As soon as you think about that, as soon as you offer that to the group putting up the hut, every single one of you hears a scream not too far southward from you. It is a scream of surprise, a scream of pain, a scream for help. It is followed by the sounds of yipping and cackling, laughter and threats. The voice continues to scream for help, calling out for anyone that hears it. The voice sounds meek and small, helpless even, being beset upon by its aggressors. What do you do?
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, it does not. No.
How far off in the distance does this sound?
It sounds like it is only 3, maybe 400 feet away.
Cries of help was what got us into this to begin with.
What
It's not
the was the
something-
matriarch sending us out here?
You know what I mean.
Shall we go around or just make camp for now?
Head to it.
I mean, granted, last time we answered cries for help, we found camp points of the beer.
Exactly. We can't
And
be
almost as if it punctuates that thought, the voice calls out again, screaming, calling for help. You can hear it stumble and stutter as if the person calling out for this help is choking and crying in great distress.
Let's go. He's
Alright.
gonna begin running towards the cry.
Alrighty.
So are we gonna like run there?
Dear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yup.
Hauling booty.
Okay? And it doesn't take you guys long. Only, really, it's like 20 seconds. And you see the source of all of this noise. You see a familiar face. It is the face of Kay, the leader of that band of hunters, Gnoll hunters, that you so graciously shared your camp with. And as you approach, you see that Kay has a small figure pinned to the ground. Looks to be avian creature of some kind. Perhaps a raven folk. Kay and his hunters are surrounding this figure with big smiles on their faces, yipping at each other, happy, elated about their latest capture. And you see something odd around this small raven folk's neck, a collar of some kind that has brightly glowing runes on it. And thinking back to your initial encounter with Kay, you recall something that looked kind of similar in possession of one of his hunters, though without the glowing runes. Whatever it is has been placed on this raven folk, this small female that's been pinned to the ground, and it's been activated. She happens to spot you as you approach, and her eyes go wide and she calls out to you again for help. She begs you to stop this beast atop her that is surely about to end her life. And that is where we are going to end for today.
Is it I'm sorry, there's another figure there with this this bird-like creature, or is it the bird-like creature that's asking for help?
The raven folk that is pinned on the ground by Kay is asking for help.
Oh, that's what it is.
And
Okay.
she spotted you guys as you were approaching.
Got it. Okay.
Is it the whole hunting party?
It is not the whole hunting party, but it is most of the hunting party. There is, counting K, there is 5 of them, and 3 witherlings, where previously there was 8 of them total living, no witherlings.
Womp womp.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, Subir is super pissed. This is not
So-
a happy fun time.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Did not expect to end on that note. Kind of expected to end on the ridiculous paladin, but I'm always okay with a bit of a darker ending. This is not the only show that we have on this channel, though. We do, in fact, have a show every Monday, every Tuesday, and every Saturday. Well, maybe not every Tuesday, because we won't have a show tomorrow.
this
But
is
it's for a
true.
good reason. If you missed it, we had the final episode of Into the Wildlands last week, and it was a good one. I do highly recommend going onto our YouTube channel and watching that episode or that whole series if you missed it. A lot of twists and turns in that one. And tomorrow, all of us that usually sit at the table for our Destiny Forge game are getting together off screen to kind of refresh ourselves with where we left off in that game. I believe it's going to be off screen. I don't think
Yes.
we've
That was
ever
my
talked
thought.
about it
We
in
didn't
live.
we didn't plan on having it on stream.
Yeah, so it's going to be off screen. We are refreshing ourselves with where we left off in that campaign. We'll be returning to it soon. I'm not going to commit ourselves to the week after next, just in case anything comes up, but hopefully the week after next. You never know. And on Saturdays, we have alternating Withered Wastes and Wayward Wanderers. Withered Wastes starts at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, and this coming Saturday is Withered Wastes, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
Yes. And our other Saturday game, Wayward Wanderers, which is a Pathfinder 2 Extinction Curse campaign run by Azrin, who you see in chat quite often and on camera quite often, I am sure, starts at 12 p.m. Pacific. If you miss any of our shows at any point, you can thank Zorro for putting them all on our YouTube channel, which you can find by typing !YouTube into chat. And if you just want to keep up with everything we do, I think you should join our Discord, because that's where all of our announcements go.
Indeed.
It's a
You find
great
that
place to hang out.
by typing !Discord. So, thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you soon.